Bill Cosby returns to television with something new, own unique style.
You gonna be in there long?
Norton Furniture is here for you. Now, seriously, if you can't get credit in my store, you can't get credit anywhere. My name is Mark, and you can count on it.
540, join.
Join the fun. All have some.
Blow it up now, give it a whack. Turn up the fun with Balzac. Hit it.
Hello. I am sorry, but I must
31
interrupt this
Grammy,
show.
Grammy.
You know what it is. Hey, ham solo. It's time, baby. Low. It's time how we do. Hey. They said we said we hit. They said we said we on. They said we said we strong. They said we said we gone. We say that you heard right. 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 They said we said we in. They said we said we on. They said we said strong. They said we said go. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right. We say that you man. I swear that it's imminent. I've been going so hard on my penmanship. About to go in and buy me a whip. And I pull that shit fresh off the dealership. I can leave you on red like an Xbox. Got me laughing at you like you red fox. Got you chasing Hot Wheels like a matchbox. EA running the game and it don't stop. Super cold like I'm playing for Blizzard. Got you all in my sights like Red Dead Redemption. Never gonna slip on my pimpin'. Better get out my way, bitch, I'm on a mission. Really ain't no competition. I'm steady grilling opposition. I'm get up and ready to win. They can play it how they play, but fuck what you say. I'm getting this money today. Last of us like a dying breed. Down the ride like a noble steed. Fatality moves, I make you bleed. That's on any game, that's on any screen. Shut up and give me your money. They said we so lit. Even if I take an L, we coming back just to show that we don't quit. They said we hit. They said we said we on. They said we said we strong. They said we said we gone. We say that you heard right. 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 They said we said we in. They said we said we on. They said we said strong. They said we said go. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right.
Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. I am not in a good mood. I will try to make this short, concise, to the point. I'm upset. Let's watch the video. Let's watch the video. I have a couple of notes here, a couple of things I wanted to talk and discuss. Yeah. Raichi says, so this is how gaming ownership ends with thunderous applause. Raichi, it's not even gaming ownership. It's not even gaming ownership. We are at the point, we don't even own our money. Our money that we work for, we don't own it. That's where we are right now. That's where we are. It's madness. Vincent Vega, welcome in. Let's watch the video. Let's watch the video.
Your ability to access media, whether that's games or whatever else, is now contingent on systems that you can't see, can't vote for, and can't opt out of.
That's another thing, right? It's dependent on things you cannot see, you cannot vote for, and you cannot opt out of. There's no hyperbole. There's no exaggeration. He is quite literally telling the truth. Right? None of us voted for Visa. None of us can opt out of MasterCard. All you can do, right, is pick which shade of shit. Damn it! I think YouTube's gonna block me. I think they're gonna demonetize this video. It hasn't been 5 minutes. I'm already sweating. I'm already swearing. Whatever. I'm upset. It is what it is. Raichi says my house is fully paid. Dude, Raichi, You know what? We can get off topic today. We can get off. It's just us today. It's just us. We can get off topic. We shall get off topic. To your point, Rachie, about your house being fully paid. I don't know how things work in the US. Sorry, I think you're in Canada. I don't know how things work around there. Here in Mozambique, you can buy your home, you can own your home, you still have to pay tax on your home. It's like, wait, I thought this was mine. Why why am I paying for it? I've already paid for it. Why do I on an annual basis have to pay for the existence of it? What are we doing? Same thing for vehicles. But you know what? Let's get back on topic about the cards and MasterCard. No one here chose Visa. No one chose MasterCard. All you can do is pick which brand of shit you want. Do you want Standard Bank? Do you want ABC? Which bank do you want? Regardless of which bank you pick, it's Visa, it's MasterCard, it's PayPal, I'm forgetting the fourth one. That's it. Those are your options. Who put these people in charge? Who? Let's get back to the video.
You have no control, you have no privacy, and this is all being fueled by elites and activists that believe that they know what's best when it comes to how you live your life.
Listen, as far as elites are concerned, I'm kind of partial. I'm kind of partial to it because they own the shit, right? They own it. Activists are my problem. Activists are my problem. But we'll get into it as the video goes.
I've never seen something progress so quickly and so suffocatingly when it comes to our rights as consumers and our independence. We have payment processors like Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal pressuring platforms like Steam to remove legal content, knowing all too well how difficult it is to defend the themes of those games, all in a bid to control how you spend your money. And now at the exact
And
same...
I think it's funny. No, not funny, but they think they're smart. Because the theory, right, as far as they're concerned, the theory is, oh, we're removing the games that have grape in them. We're removing the games that have incest in them. That's what we're removing. And it's like, okay, why are you removing them? Because the whole question here is that, oh, the when we remove these things, people won't have the backbone or the courage to start questioning, because if you question, then you can get labeled. If you get labeled, then you're a gooner, you're a weirdo, you're this, you're that. Me personally, I don't mind being called names. I don't mind it. I what I need is answers, right? I'd rather have answers and be called names than have no answers and just sit there being part of the sheep. Essentially, this is one of those situations where it's like you can be dumb for 5 seconds or you can be dumb for the rest of your life. You can pick to not question what's being done in front of you so people don't point and laugh at you, or you can question it and start to try to free yourself. Because as we'll find out in the video, there's not much we can do. It's not much we can do. Not nothing, but it's not much.
Same time, we have the UK passing laws that effectively make it where Europeans just have to hand over all of their identification to third-party companies that we know exactly how well they handle that. Zero.
Man, listen, about the UK and censorship laws and all of that, for me, they're in the future in a good way for me, considering I don't live there. I can already see what's probably going to come here. Like many of the tropes, many of the things that happen here started in the US or Europe. And then only the people that were paying attention to what was happening there were positioned and ready for what was going to happen here. So me personally, I'm very, very acutely aware of what's happening outside of my little bubble in the South.
Security. The US is doing the exact same thing. Xbox is already jumping forward to make changes based on these laws. meaning that all of this is coming to every single shore unless something is done.
And what can be done? What can be done is the real question. It's the most concerning thing, in my opinion. What do you actually have that you can do? Hold on, let me set this up here real quick. Rachel says all internet should use Loke 7 face to be the poster boy of the movement. Jesus. No, stop it. If we need a face, who's the face? Like if we need a poster boy, if we need a poster boy for, or poster girl, right? For like internet freedom and asking for less restrictions and control from corporations, who's the face? Off the top of my head, I'm saying the face is, I'm saying it's Asmongold for me, if I'm picking someone. Oh my God, Rachie, relax. Relax. No baby oil. No baby oil. Stop it. Stop it, Rachie. No baby oil. WB Montreal is making a new live service game. We're about to get DC Rivals Concord No Curve Edition. Rachie, when you see what is happening, when you see what's happening with Visa, MasterCard, Xbox with the censorship, Nintendo, and all these big conglomerates, I can't find it in me to feel any sympathy when they just step on rakes like this of these news live service games. Didn't they just fail with the Suicide Squad? It committed suicide. That game committed suicide. But guess what? They dust themselves off and step on another rake. And you know what? Personally, I don't mind it. I really don't. It's fine, bro. It is fine. It's getting to be a bit antagonistic, and it's fine for me.
This goes beyond censorship. This is control. This is that cyberpunk dystopia where you own nothing, know nothing, and are nothing other than tools of convenience for
Literally, the cyberpunk dystopia. You own nothing. You don't even own your own money. Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal, these past 2 or 3 weeks have just demonstrated to us that even your own money, forget your movies, your video games, all this other stuff, right? That you can try and figure out ways to say, no, but I do own it. You don't own your own money. How them apples?
corporations and the politicians that they control. While I plan to try to make this discussions revolve around video games, ultimately I'm going to have to step outside of my comfort zone.
And you know what? He should. He should, and we all should. We all should. You have a bunch of Karens, right? Fine, so we'll get into it. Listen, you have a bunch of Karens in Australia, but there's Karens all over the planet. You have a bunch of Karens. Don't even play video games. They're not even gamers. But they're writing hundreds of emails complaining about said video games. And stuff's getting done in their name. But these people know nothing about what they're crying about. Listen, the biggest problem with gamers is that gamers are smart most of the time. Most gamers are smart. What happens with smart people is that when we know we're not knowledgeable about something, we avoid speaking on it, being activists around it, etc. Engaging too deeply with the topic and the authorities of said topic. The Karens, they give two shits. They give half a shit, right? They know nothing about what they complain about. They just know they don't like it. They verbalize it. They're loud about it, and they get shit done. That's what we need to do. We need to act like we're dumb. It's going to be hard, but ignore your instinct to use your IQ, fellow gamers. Ignore the instinct to use your IQ and just barrel through it.
I'm going to have to talk about media more broadly. I'm going to have to talk about corporate and political interference and a lot more. So today, we're going to talk about the world's war on the internet, on gaming, on freedom of expression, on our independence, and our fight against it. They think that they have the upper hand.
Freedom!
It's time to prove they don't. Freedom of expression in media always comes under fire nearly every...
Gentlemen, this is what they want to take away from us. They want to take the tatas. It's Tata Tuesday. Make sure to like the video. Welcome in Elemental Hero says, yeah, like we could honestly see more censorship continuing to happen. We need to stop seeing it. We need to start doing something about it. All right. Vincent Vegas says they can try, but they won't succeed. Vince. What you're verbalizing there, in my opinion, is your belief in the indomitable human spirit. And I think we all have this belief. We all understand that as creatures, we don't do well with incarceration, with bondage, whether it's physical, mental, emotional. We don't do well with getting caged up. Whether it's American history, African history, check any history that involves human beings and then a group of people trying to control them. It always goes to shit for the people trying to control them. But the reason why it's important for us to verbalize and complain and get up right now is because, yes, eventually the sun will rise. But we have the power to make it rise sooner rather than later. Rachie says, this is an Amazon Kindle filled with smart for women. My guy, Mike, this was one of my points. You know what? Let's get into it. Fuck it. Let's just do it now. Let's do it. Listen, we don't have to follow this in order. This is not a PDF presentation. Yes, Amazon, the Kindle is filled with smart for women, but that's okay. That's okay. You know what else is filled with smart? That Visa, MasterCard, PayPal are completely okay with. OnlyFans. But that's fine. And it's not to say that these companies endorse those activities. It's that we don't complain about those activities. Because you notice everything was grand on Steam and itch.io. It only became a shit show as soon as a bunch of Karens started bitching. So in my opinion, right, some people have said, oh, we should advocate to Steam and be like, oh, no, we should advocate to MasterCard and Visa and say, oh, Steam is actually, those games are fine. Those are just a bunch of Karens. Let us play the games that we want. No. I have a more effective solution. In my personal opinion, what we should do, and thank you for bringing it up, Rachie, we should lobby MasterCard, Visa, PayPal to get the smart removed from Kindle. Let's get the OnlyFans creators demonetized. Like, let's go and take what the Karens like, right? Let's go to the Karens domain. What do the Karens like to do? What do they think is fun and interest? You know what? Let's get offended about that. Let's bombard these services with that action. Because I feel like if we lobby Visa and MasterCard in defense of our games, sure, we might get our games back, but we don't communicate to the people doing the horrible thing that they're doing, that this is a bad, bad idea. The only way to communicate that is to make them feel the same itch up their butt crack that we're feeling right now. You know, like I came up with a horrible example in my mind. I'm not gonna go that dark, but uh, let's say someone steps on your brand new Nikes, right? All white Nikes, $1,000 shoes. That person quite probably will never feel, right? Let's say a young lady does that. She will never feel the pain that you are feeling in that moment unless you step on her Jimmy Choo red bottom heels, like properly step on them. That'll be the only way, in my opinion, that she will not only feel your pain, but also understand why it's a bad idea, right? To move yourself from your area of the internet, of the planet, right? Look at someone else having fun in their place or whatever, and then just decide, I'm now going to influence this person and this person's the hobby. That's the only way. That is the only way. If they want to take away the action movies for guys, don't complain and say, give us back the action movie. Let them take it. What you do is use the exact same mechanism to take away their reality shows, take away their soapies, take away, the stuff they like. That's what's going to make them like understand that, whoa, why are these guys taking away my soapies? And then the guys will be like, no, we're offended by these soapies. Why are you offended? No, I don't like them. I don't think they're appropriate. The fuck? You don't even watch these. And that's how they will be able to connect one to the other. Make them feel it. That's my idea. Make them feel it. And yes, I paused on the Tatars to make that rant on purpose. This was not a coincidence. Hey, Hamsol, welcome in, brother. Welcome in. I tried to call you just now. Vincent Vega says they will bring back sexy when stuff don't sell. I still feel like that's not a pro. Are you talking about the what's her name? Sydney Sweeney ad, the jeans? Is that what you're talking about? She does have nice jeans, bro. She has nice jeans. Die, what's happening? Elemental here. Like even on Friday when you had your panel saying it doesn't affect them, it honestly affects them if they make mature games bland. My guy, people don't understand this until they start to feel it on their own skin. That's why I'm saying the reaction from those saying, oh, I don't really care, I don't really play these games. It's natural human nature. But you know what's also natural human nature? When you put the brand, the fire, when you put it on their skin, suddenly they understand you perfectly. It's like magic, really. Hey, Oshers, welcome in. TSWS says, well, only Matt and Mental said it doesn't. Yeah. It's your fault for buying white Nikes. Oh, come on, Vince. You know what I said. You understood the reference. All right? You understood the reference. All right, let's carry on with the video.
Single year from low effort, uneducated activists and opportunistic politicians, whether it's books, TV shows, music, movies, or games, the world's problems always seem to get pinned on art. And the people that are leading these moral crusades, well, they're never content to make personal choices. They want control over what you can access under the thinly veiled excuse of protecting the children from.
My God. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you guys, everyone thought, everyone thought we got rid of the conservative Christians from back in the 90s, the 80s, and early 2000s. Some of us still remember them. Some of us are old enough to remember family values. We remember when GTA was the devil's spawn. When Doom brought in demons to your child. Some of us still remember. This is why I say, like, extremism, whether it's extreme left, extreme right, it's all bad. Extreme anything. Extreme anything is bad. Eat too much, that's bad. Eat too little, that's also too bad. Exercise too much, yes, there is such a thing as exercising too much. That is bad. Exercise too little, well, I don't have to say anything about that. And yeah, Richie's right. Oshus, we're still waiting for the Guna list. You were supposed to give us a video every month ranking the best Guna games. Don't give us this, oh, Steam has taken the games away excuse. That's not true, right? There's more than just Steam. We're counting on you. Come on.
Content that they've never engaged with, don't understand, and absolutely do not respect. Ultimately, it's parents looking for systems to raise their kids rather than themselves.
And this is why I'm saying we're going back to the family value, because like the whole Rage Against the Machine, woke, whatever, it's now falling apart. And what happens? The other extreme side is now rising, right? The parents, the family values, the traditionalists, the conservatives, they're back. The extreme ones, at least, they're back. And now that they have tech to babysit the kids, they don't want to moderate their kids' time, right? They don't want to talk to their kids. They want to educate their kids. They don't want to monitor their kids. They want to have kids for the sake of having kids. They don't want to raise the next generation and actually interact with these little human beings. So to do that, I can't have fun anymore. I can't have Tata Tuesdays. You can't have Tata Tuesdays, right? People in the UK now have to bring out their IDs and all this other stuff just so they can browse the web. I never thought that would happen during my lifetime, if I'm being honest. Never.
Back in 1985, it was the music destroying our minds as Tipper Gore helped launch the PMRC, a group that insisted that music with explicit lyrics should be segregated and slapped with warning labels. It led to
Can you imagine? They used to say music was the worst thing, and that was like the demon stuff and whatever. Have you guys listened to modern music? You guys ever listen to what's popping these days? I'm sure you guys have.
televised Senate hearings where Congress tried to shame musicians into submission. They invited Dee Snider of Twisted Sister to testify, thinking that his image would backfire: long hair, makeup, loud music. Instead, he shredded them. Calm, articulate, and unapologetic, he exposed their hypocrisy and turned the spectacle into a public.
Who's going to expose these guys' hypocrisy in terms of gaming? Can you guys think of someone? Because it's not going to be legendary drops that gets called up to Congress. It's never like just people. They're going to call up the actual beneficiaries. They're going to call up the artists themselves. Imagine if they bring up Hideo Kojima to like American Congress or something, and they're like, "All right, Godzilla, all hail. Please tell us why Quiet needs to be half naked 90% of the time. Explain this to to all these politicians." Listen. Kojima is awesome. I don't know if you'll be able to swing it, especially with the whole translation thing. I don't know, man. I don't know. Jeff Keighley would sell us down a river.
embarrassment for all of the moral censors. That kind of overreach didn't stop there. In the mid-1990s, Natural Born Killers became the next target, a hyper-violent satire by Oliver Stone about two media-obsessed killers that turned into celebrities. Critics said that
This movie is pretty tame by today's standards. But it was, the worst thing in the world at that time. By who? These same people that have been hiding in the weeds when woke was dominating. Now woke is going down. Guess what? We're back to family values.
glorified murder, but what it really did was terrify them because it held up a mirror to how violence gets repackaged and sold. The film was linked to some real-world crimes and even dragged into the courts by the victims.
Can you imagine? You make anything artistic, it gets linked to a real world crime. Suddenly, that artistic thing you made is now like a bad thing. Like, in whose mind does that make sense? Like, I'm sure fights have broken out because of Madden. No more Madden? Really? You guys think that's going to happen? Okay. All right, no more Madden. Let's do that. FIFA. I'm sure if you search long enough on the internet, you're going to find incidents of real world violence because of FIFA. What are we going to do? We're going to ban a video game about the most popular sport on the planet. You know what? Let's even use football as an example. For anyone that knows football history, there's been countless, hundreds of deaths that have occurred at football stadiums, actual football stadiums, right? Not American football, actual football stadiums. Countless incidents of tens, sometimes hundreds of people killed at football stadiums. Do you know what didn't happen? Do you know what didn't? Football was not banned. That did not happen. These people are talking about rape and incest. Okay. Guys, let's get Game of Thrones completely delisted from existence. Let's get all the stuff that they like. Let's get it out. It's all gone. Now no one has anything. Because the problem with offense is that it's a very personal thing. And offense is taken, not given. You have to take offense to whatever is being projected in front of you. And there's no piece of art. There doesn't exist one piece of art. I dare anyone in the chat to mention one piece of art. There's no piece of art that has ever existed, that will ever exist, that doesn't offend at least one human being on this planet. There's nothing. There's nothing. So if we follow that logic, no one can have anything, no one can do anything for the sake of not offending. Richie says, boobs, asses, you're not seeing the truth. Feet is the most erotic. I'm trying to have a serious discussion, Richie. I'm trying to have a serious discussion. Last time they denied art, a dude with beard brought hell to the world. That is true. That is true. Someone always...
His family.
Listen. We have an indomitable spirit. These corporations know it, but also they're willing to make the last red cent right up until the point that they now have to capitulate to the human spirit. Oh, stop it, Ham. Stop.
Despite having no real connection, the lawsuits ended up failing, but the damage was done. It was banned in multiple countries, pulled off the shelves, and became a blueprint for how moral panic can leap from outrage to censorship without even proving any harm.
And the thing with morals is that everyone has their own morals. Where do you draw the line between, where do you draw the line of where your morals end and mine begin. Where do you draw the line? Why are your morals more moral than mine? Why? How is that? Has it been quantified? Can you expagorate on why you've come to this conclusion? No, you just know you're superior. Okay. Okay, bud. Okay.
But eventually that spotlight turned to video games, and once it did, it never left. Mortal Kombat was one of the first to take the heat back in 1993. The blood-soaked fatalities ended up triggering a political firestorm, landing it in the center of U.S. Senate hearings alongside Night Trap, and the outrage was so loud, it was enough to be able to force the
1993. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the year 2025. It only took, 30 years for us to go full circle and get right back to where it all started.
industry into creating the ESRB, which we still use today, a self-imposed rating board that was meant to keep the government off their backs. And yet still, despite that concession, the attacks kept coming. Doom was next. After Columbine, the media rushed to blame the shooter's love of violence.
Yeah. So the guy that committed an atrocity, a shooting atrocity, also used to play Doom. Ergo, ban Doom. Geniuses, these people. Geniuses. Smartest people on the planet. We should have put these guys working on world hunger. They actually know what the solutions are.
Video games, especially Doom, which was treated less like a product and more like a loaded weapon. There was no real evidence, but that really didn't matter because the goal was never about truth. It was about finding a scapegoat.
Yep.
From there, the cycle just repeated. Manhunt was banned in multiple countries for its...
Oh, man. Listen, we're not at the point where we're not allowed to recommend games, so I'm just going to recommend it. Manhunt. If you have not played it, it's an old game, but if you have not played it, get Manhunt. Is Manhunt even still on Steam? Hold the phone. With the way things are going on Steam. I mean, damn. Gabe Newell took the knee like he was Colin Kaepernick. That was outstandingly pathetic. Wow. Let's see if Manhunt is still... Okay. Manhunt is still on Steam. Go and buy it. Itch.io now has the reputation of they will take games away from you even if you've already bought it. But Steam, so far, they'll just delist the game so you can't buy it if you haven't bought it. But if you have bought it already, you can still like re-download it and all that other stuff. So get Manhunt. Vince says there's a lot of games that have gone over the years. Always remember you can learn how to pirate. You know what? Let me even take my hat off for this. Vince, I've always been against the idea. Anyone that's watched this show knows I've always hated the idea of pirating and said it was a bad thing and I'm an achievement whore and all this other stuff. But I'm getting radicalized, man. And radicalization is not something that happens from one instance to the next. It's a slow and gradual, death by 1,000 cuts situation. I started off being irritated, and then I got angry, then I got indifferent, and then I just left it. I think I've been indifferent to the whole not owning my stuff thing for a couple of years. And then when I heard about PC, I was like, oh yeah, PC is the way. Let me even ditch the consoles and I'll use the consoles for a few exclusives, but most of the stuff I'll just get on PC, on Steam and whatever. Now I'm figuring out not even Steam, not even GOG, none of these places because they are owned, right? Steam is owned. I'm sorry. Dude, I don't care what your documents say, right? I don't care what your documents say. I care about how you act. I care about how you act. You can say, you can say that the Lamborghini outside is yours. But if I can come over and drive it wherever I want when I feel like driving it, and I always tell you where to drive it, and you always drive it where I tell you to drive it, that's my Lamborghini. Sure, it's in your name, whatever, but functionally, that's my Lamborghini. Steam is owned by Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal. And so is almost every single platform that has any type of monetization. They're owned by this cartel. And yeah, man, as far as the whole piracy thing, I'm not to the point where I fully endorse it, but I'm to the point where I shall never shit on anyone that pirates games. I'm not doing it. Because you don't own it. Remember, you're giving money, but you don't own it. So if you don't own it, are you stealing it? You know what I mean? As far as me learning it, I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe I need to get more upset about this whole thing. Nothing radical about thinking outside the box. Money is still best in what it was invented for. Straight. Yes. Yes, Vince. All right, let's get back to the video.
Sadistic tone and stylized executions, Grand Theft Auto became a political punching bag for nearly 2 decades now, and every time a new controversy breaks out, school shootings, violent crime, teenage aggression, someone...
You know what I'm looking forward to? I'm looking forward to GTA 6 coming out. That game is going to explode, right? In terms of sales. I'm looking forward to GTA 6 coming out and these people doing exactly what they're doing now. I'm looking forward to that. I want to see what happens when they push back at Visa, MasterCard, PayPal to not support platforms that have GTA 6. I want to see just how far the greed goes. I want to see how far. Hey, Sapo, welcome in. Says Manhunt is $4 on Steam. Bought it instantly. Dub. Well done, Sapo. Hold on. Let me give you a proper applause. Sapo, enjoy yourself. Manhunt. Enjoy. That is one of the best games. Rachie says, what is Manhunt? Rachie, Manhunt is an experience. There's no describing it. You must feel it. Go and get it. Go and play Manhunt. Please. I implore you. Get Manhunt. Especially now when they're fixing the takeaway games that are, shall I say, risque.
with the podium and no understanding of the medium wants to start pointing a finger at
Rachie's asking, are there any female feeds? Rachie, not everything is gooning with me. Jeez, man. I mean, most of it is, but not everything, right? There's no female feeds. Just go and get Manhunt, Rachie. Do it. Vince says GTA 6 might cost $2 billion to develop, yet it will recoup that on launch. Master and Visa won't leave that cow unmilked. But then, and this is what pisses me off, right? This is what pisses me off. They won't leave that cow unmilked, and it's like, oh, so you don't stand on business. This is performative. And if it's performative, why is it okay to sacrifice this specific game that I like, but it's not okay to sacrifice that other game that I like? And it can't be, oh, the more money you make, the more extremely grotesque your game can be. Like if your game is too small and you make something that offends people, if you don't make enough money, we're going to take that game away from people. But if you're this gigantic game like Call of Duty and you offend people, that's fine because you make tons of money. That cannot be the metric. I have a problem with that metric.
Video games, and they still do to this day, despite decades of research showing that there is no causal link between video game violence and real-world behavior. We are still hearing the exact same.
Anyone that says that there's a link between video game violence and real-world violence needs to have a look in the mirror. They need to have a serious look in the mirror. Because if there's a link, there should be a lot more shooting violence all over the world. You know why? Because Fortnite, Call of Duty, Battlefield, and all of these shooter games, those are the most played games on the planet. Those are the most played games on the planet. Hell, if that is true, then ban all of them. All of them. But you won't, because there's no real link. You cannot prove the link. What you can do is write a bunch of emails and send it to Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal, who will just bow their heads. GTA 6 is not Tata Futanari Simulator. There was a whole politicians who tried to tank Rockstar Games for GTA existing. And my problem with this whole argument, Vince, is that this is not about Tatas. This is not about feet. This is not about Goonies. It's not about none of that. This is about the right of people to express themselves legally. As soon as there's a law saying it's illegal to make Tata Futanari games, a law, not a feeling, not a pearl clutch, an actual law written in and approved by Supreme Courts in whatever respective country, and then you want to ban these games, I'm done. I'm quiet. I'm not saying nothing. It's cool. But if it's just vibes, and now you want to ruin everyone's fun because of your personal vibes, now we have a problem. Now we have a problem. Matthew Hum, welcome in, says the whole reason for games is to do what I can't from my couch. Violence is an outlet in a safe digital space rather than real. Fake scapegoat to blame games for everything. Matthew, it's not just violence. Escapism is an outlet. And no one gets to dictate which escapism is acceptable besides the government through laws. Through laws. Then you can dictate that this specific escapism is illegal. But what's happening now with Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, and these Karens in Australia is just vibes, bro. It's just vibes. It's just feelings. That's all it is. And that's why I'm saying, instead of people writing MasterCard, Visa, and PayPal saying, oh, give us back our games, leave that to the side. Leave that to the side. Guys, let's figure out what these Karens like. Figure out what the Karens like. Make a list. Do the research. And then lobby these payment processors to take all of it away. All of it. Not bits and pieces like they've done with the game. No, take all of it. All of it. And then just sit back. Sit back. These people came and threw gasoline in our homes, right? In my opinion, it's to the, because this has been happening for years now, it's to the point where don't get the hose and put out the fire in your home while they're laughing. No, 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 no. Let them laugh. Get the gasoline, get the kerosene, get everything. Go to their home. Set that on fire, metaphorically speaking, of course. Set theirs on fire as well. Right? Let it all burn. On both sides, let it burn. And then we'll both meet at the insurance claims. We'll have a conversation. We'll understand each other. We'll have a conversation, an eye-to-eye conversation, a heart-to-heart conversation. Because they have to feel the loss. Otherwise, you're not doing anything. You're playing on defense. The best defense is offense, ladies and gentlemen. And offense isn't saying, give us back our games. Offense is saying, oh, you took that. All right, well, let me take yours. How you feeling now? Would you like to take some more so I can take some more? That way we end up with nothing. And are you okay with that? Because we can just go pirate. You guys can take down every freaking store. Take it all down. Take every single store that we have. We'll just go back to Pirate Bay and all this other stuff. Are you guys ready to do the same? That's the question. That's what we need to ask the lobbyists in Australia. That's the only way we're going to get along here. It's why, like, for example, the US has nuclear weapons, Russia has nuclear weapons, China has nuclear weapons, etc. It's deterrence. There isn't this big world peace because people are just nice to each other and said, oh, don't do this to me. It was like, no, no, no. If you try it, you're screwed too. What's up? Everyone's paralyzed. Nothing happens. Life is going by. People are getting passports, traveling, and everything's good. Because everyone knows that if you get pissed today and you do something, it's mutually assured destruction. Are you ready? Are you willing? No one's willing. Sorry for going off on a tangent there. What's happening here? The biggest news this week is Sony's fighting Tencent. That is not, it's not the biggest news, right? And this is why I went live today. This is why I went live today, because I'm sure tomorrow Ham's going to want to keep it gaming and all this other stuff. Wednesday with Usher, same thing. I feel like this topic with Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal, because of how Steam capitulated so quickly, right? They got on their knees so fast, even Colin Kaepernick was impressed, right? They got on their knees so fast that the news kind of like came and went. We didn't sit on it. We didn't digest it. We didn't take it in. It's like the $70 price tag increase. They didn't give us enough time to even be mad about it, and suddenly it's 80. So when they bring it down to 70, oh, everyone's happy. Right? This issue with Visa, MasterCard, PayPal is the biggest piece of news. We should be talking about this every single day until the cartel, which is what it is, gets broken up. Right? Either they break up the cartel. I don't know how you can even break that. I don't know if Visa and MasterCard even set in the US or not. Either the cartel gets broken up or they take a step back and leave us alone. I think this topic, we need to be nailing on this every single week. Who cares about this monopoly? It's fun to talk about, and I guess it's the lawsuit. It's essentially the whole Power World Nintendo thing. They're in the same group. Sure, it's terrible if Sony wins because now no one can make anything inspired by X, right? It's a bad thing, right? It's worth discussing. It's worth discussing. But today I want to discuss the fact that we own nothing. We don't even own our money. That's what I want to discuss. So gamers revolt and sue for rights of Tata Futari. The people who made these decisions at Visa and Master will have to lose their job for stupidity. And that's what I'm saying, dude. That won't get it across. Because us complaining about the Tatas does not guarantee us that Visa and MasterCard are going to respond and be like, you know what? Get all the stuff back on Steam and itch.io, etc. But I'm telling you, and I promise you, I guarantee it, that if you go to the people that are complaining in Australia and find what they like, and then you say that's offensive to you, and then you get that taken down, then we're going to have a conversation. I'm telling you, I promise you, that is human nature, dude. Normally we do not empathize until we're forced to do it. And the only way to force it, because what are you going to do with Visa and MasterCard? These are corporations. They have no feelings, no emotions, no passions. They only have a function, and the function is to make increasingly more money every single financial quarter, year, etc. But I'm telling you, what we need to do is go to the lobbyists, find what they like, lobby to get that taken down, and then they're going to want to have a conversation with us. I promise you. I promise you. My problem isn't violence or nudity, it's that we've become increasingly desensitized. I got my mouth washed out as a kid for what today's kids are saying every minute. And this is the responsibility of other parents, Sapo. Your responsibility is to bring your kids in and discipline your kids. That is all. When we start trying to police other people, that's how you end up with these lobbyists in Australia. As soon as you start trying to make those people's lives your problem, or to make your problem part of their lives, then now those people, right, their lives are now affected by you, and you have no right to complain about how they are going to react to you. So you see a kid cussing, right? You see a kid cussing at the restaurant, and then you walk up to the kid and you smack him upside the head. Maybe that was okay back in the 90s. Maybe that was okay. It's not okay today. So you are bothered by how that kid is acting. You react. My guy, it is now completely out of your hands how that kid's father or mother shall react to you. You have now surrendered your right to how they can interact with you, because you have taken yourself out of your booth and inserted yourself into their lives. Now they're going to react whichever way. You can get lucky and you find an old school family that says, you know what? Well done. Or you can find a modern family and they sue your ass. Or it's a single mom and she says she felt her life was threatened, and guess what? She has a 9mm. Now you're in the hospital. And it was self-defense. Because as far as the video is concerned, you were attacking her and her defenseless child. And this is exactly what I'm talking about with the Karens in Australia. We were chilling. We were chilling on itch.io and Steam. They decided to get out of their booth, come over to our booth, and look at our Diet Coke and our Big Mac, and they slapped the Big Mac to the floor and said, this is not good for you. As soon as they did that, all bets are off. All bets are off. And that's why I'm saying, guys, leave MasterCard, Visa alone in terms of hate, in terms of targeting. Invest time in finding out what these people like. What hobbies do they find entertaining? Let's get offended about that. Let's get that demonetized and make that a risky payment as far as Visa and MasterCard is concerned. Let's do that. And I promise you, the same people that chucked our burger to the ground will grab that burger, throw it in the bin, go to the till, ask for another one, pay for it, bring it to our table, and apologize. Because I'm telling you, this business of, oh no, let's go talk to Visa, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Don't ask for your toys back. Take their toys. Matthew says, to defeat the Karen, you must become the Karen. You joke. You joke. Send the Karen Slayer. The Goon Slayer. Yes. Yes, Vincent Vega, the Goon Slayer. Hey, Sour Blow, welcome in, man. Welcome in. I think entertainers should be allowed to license out their goods. Want to see some prime meats, pay for the license to view said prime meats. It satisfies everyone involved. Their hobbies are reading the Bible, LOL. And you know what, Sapo? And if their hobby is reading the Bible, we need to figure out a way to shut that down. Because that's what bothers them, right? The only way people feel your pain is if you inflict it upon them. Especially when we're talking about entertainment situations. It's not even a violent situation. This is a situation of where they're taking people's entertainment that they don't find entertaining. So it's not a loss for them. All right. What do you do for 2 or 3 hours every single day? What can you not go a weekend without doing? Let's make that problematic. Huh? See if you have fun with that.
Lazy talking points about how games corrupt the youth, desensitize children, or promote criminal behavior. They said it in the 90s, they said it in the early 2000s, and they're still saying it today.
The Bible thumpers are back, people. They are back. And I say this as a Christian myself, but oh my goodness. These people would drive me up the wall back in the day. And when they vanished and we went into the woke era, I was popping champagne. But like all things, you either die a hero or live long enough. You know how the saying goes. Sapo says you can't. Christian nationalism dictates otherwise when you read into it. Underneath the surface, it's purely about power and controlling others. Listen, if you think Christianity cannot be defeated, go back. How did we get the family values out of all of our entertainment back in the 90s? How did we do it? It's doable, people. It's doable. We can get them out again.
Because it's easier to blame the pixels than confront real issues.
Yes.
Here we are today, and the only thing that's changed is that the time
Parenting your kids is not taking them to church on Sunday and that's it. And then putting an iPad in front of them. That's not parenting your kids. That's not my problem, bro. It's not my problem. The Bible says you shouldn't do politics. Well, here we are, brother. Here we are.
for talk is over, and now it's action. Content
What should I say? Here they are.
isn't just being criticized, it's being erased. Games are vanishing, storefronts are purging titles by the thousands, and it all started with a group called Collective Shout.
I won't say too much.
An advocacy and lobbying organization based in Australia that claims that they are fighting against the sexualization of women and children in media. On the surface, that sounds like a noble goal. But the deeper that you look, the more it becomes clear that this isn't about safety, it's about control. Collective Shout isn't a watchdog.
Can someone make a meme of this? You know which one. Myth, what consenting adults do is up to them. What? Okay. So I hadn't seen this video yet. These people literally said that the following quote is a myth. What consenting adults do is up to them. Madness. Guys, this is family values all over again. This is 1994, 1997, 2002, pearl clutching, Bible thumping, purity myth bullshit. Again. Now, what consenting adults do is up to them. This is nuts. This is crazy. So you find you a girl. Y'all decide to do something. We're going back. We're going backwards. I'm telling you guys, in a couple of years, here's a hot take. If we keep moving in the conservative direction that we're currently moving, in a couple of years, people are going to miss the woke. People are going to miss Pride Month. People are going to miss being able to just live their lives in peace. This is nuts. Rachie says, Jesus, when he didn't come to dictate what Romans should do, he only gave to Caesar what is to Caesar. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. These Bible thumpers, man. This is bad. This is really bad.
Group. It's a group of Karens imposing their morality on everybody else, often
Collective Shout defended the child exploitation film Cuties, but they lied and attacked Detroit become... What? Hold on. I need to Google this. There's no way they're this hypocritical. There's no way. Collective Shout. Damn it, I forgot what the thing he said. Defended the child exploitation film Cuties. Hold on. This is a real article. Hold on, let me open this up. Let me share it with you guys. Hold on. There we go. So this is the same thing that was on. Okay. Collective Shout on X stop video game Detroit human depicting child abuse and violence. Does this go to the actual X link? Hold on, let me. Okay, so it goes to the Ghost Archive. So they deleted it. All right. This is why I decided to do today's show, because I'm willing to go down every rabbit hole that appears. At least every single one that, matters. It keeps loading. It's loading a whole bunch of records. And right, with this whole censorship thing, with time, even the Ghost Archive will be done away with. Even the Ghost Archive will be done away with. All right, here we go. Here it is from at Collective Shout. Stop video game Detroit Become Human depicting child abuse and violence against women being sold in Australia. Hashtag not buying it. Hashtag VAW. Sign this petition. Change.org. Link. Sorry, this page was not found. All right. Okay, going back to the article, this feminist group wanted the game banned. They said this game contained child abuse. Meanwhile, they suddenly have nuance when it comes to cuties. I don't have to explain to you guys what cuties is. I think everyone knows what cuties is. It's one of the few movies that even me, like, I'm a bit woke myself, but even I was like, yo. Anyways, here's the tweet from a Collective Shout. It says, Cuties, an ethically problematic but powerful protest against the sexualization of women. Guys. So it's just violence, it's a problem. When it gets handsy, you're interested. Ooh, and look at who they're tagging at ABC Religion. Man, these are weird people. Nordic Model Now tweeted this, saying, absolutely stunning analysis of the Cuties film from Melinda Tankard, raced from Collective Shout. Well, the quote was, understandably, I assumed the worst, then I watched it. And that's the thing about art, Melinda. Some people can play a Guna game and be like, you know what? I kind of liked it. Not the worst thing in the world. People should be given the opportunity to take in art. That's not illegal, obviously. To take in art and come to their own conclusions. Melinda. All right, let's get back to the video. I can't believe this article was actually real. That is wild. I thought this was like an exaggeration. Jeez. Video game robot lives matter. What's this? Did they show feet in Cuties? I couldn't watch it, man. I watched the trailer and I was like, something's wrong. Something's off here. And I have Netflix, but I was like, nah, I'm not going to watch that. Vince says someone hiding the Epstein list. Woke 7 confirmed. Stop it.
Hypocritically, seeing that they defend the Netflix show Cuties. Gross. When Steam ignored their demands to remove offensive content, Collective Shout bypassed them entirely and went straight for the infrastructure. They flooded Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal with complaints, pressuring them to take action, and it worked. Yep. Payment processors then turned around and contacted...
Yep, Valve confirms pressure banks and card companies is to blame for the storefront axing adult Steam games. Loss of payment methods would prevent customers from being able to purchase other titles. It's so messed up, bro.
Steam directly laying out their own content standards and demanding enforcement. In response, Steam quietly added a new line in their developer policy under Rule
15 is one of the worst things you've ever seen, man. It's one of the most nefarious things, but it's something that is done many times. It's done many times with many companies because they want the most leverage and leeway to do whatever the hell they want. with your money. But you can't do whatever you want with not only with your money, but even with the stuff that you buy. Sweet Walk Walk 666 Modern Baby Inc. Listen, you guys, we are going to miss Sweet Baby Inc. in 10 years. If it keeps going the way it's going, look at what's happening to Steam already. If it keeps going the way it's going, they're not. You think they're going to stop at Guna Games? They're not going to stop there. They're not. They're going to find the next thing that offends. The same way the woke movement did not stop and kept going and going and going and escalating and escalating and escalating. The Bible thumpers are no different. After this, they'll find the next thing that offends them, and the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. Schedule 1, look out. A game where you play as a drug dealer? Oh, you think they're just going to leave that alone? All right. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. This is how big corporate works. They will take any dirty pennies, but the moment they're on top, they will drop. Yeah, facts, Rachie, facts. Damn, Vince. Okay, tell us how you really feel, man. Jeez. Sapo says 100 exactly. Okay, the point 15 on the Steam rules says content that may violate the rules. May violate the rules and standards set forth by Steam's payment processes. What are said rules? Right? What are these rules and standards? Does anyone have access to them? It's just some vague thing set forth by Steam's payment processors and related card networks and banks or internet network providers, in particular, certain kinds of adult-only content. Strap in, boys. Strap in. Concord doesn't have to worry about sweep. All right. Welcome in, Ron Slasher. No need to be violent.
15. You shouldn't publish content that may violate the rules and standards set forth by Steam's payment processors and related card networks and banks or internet service providers, in particular, certain kinds of adult-only content. That one vague little sentence triggered one of the most aggressive
Well, Steam update bans Taboola games over payment rules.
Content purges that we have ever seen. Thousands of games disappeared off of Steam and indie storefronts like itch.io within days. And let's be clear, the kind of content that
Quick reminder, itch.io not only removed games, but they also took games away from people. They took it to the next level.
they were targeting here was calculated. This was not mainstream titles. These were fringe, explicit games, the kind of content that is extremely difficult to defend publicly without being accused of endorsing it. That is the point. They thought that this content wouldn't spark any mass outrage if it disappeared. They picked a fight where the user base was too small, too niche, and too easy to silence, because at the end of the day, this isn't about stopping extreme content. It's about cracking the door open for systemic removal of any content someone else decides that you shouldn't be able to be allowed to engage with.
And who decides? Who has the guillotine? Who decides that this is unacceptable for other people to consume? Who is God on the internet? Who's my father on the internet? Who's your mother on the internet? Madness.
These same activists and their political allies have taken aim at games like Grand Theft Auto and Detroit Becomes Human. If you guys think for whatever reason that this stops with H games and edgy horror titles, you haven't been paying attention. The strategy is simple here. Make the bans palatable at first and then push the line later.
Same thing with microtransactions. They told us, oh, slippery slope. Slippery slope. DLC, oh, it's fine. This is good for you. Oh, one bad thing happens. Oh, don't worry about the slippery slope. It'll be fine. It'll be okay. Okay. Look at us now. All right.
And once people get used to it, well, the next ban isn't even going to feel like censorship anymore. In fact, that point's already been proven because one of the games that got caught up in the purge on itch.io was Mouthwashing, a front runner for 2024 Indie Game of the Year, a psychological horror.
Guys, Schedule 1. Listen, I am legit thinking I need to figure out a way to buy and play Schedule 1. I need to figure out a way to get Schedule 1 on Steam and play it before it gets delisted. Think about it, guys. The Bible thumpers are back. DPro CZ, welcome in. Could you please link this video in the chat? For some reason, it seems to be censored in search. What? Are they already censored? This is okay. All right. Hold on. Let me put this in here. The legendary one himself. Hold on. Let me find the video here so I can put it in chat. What the hell? Yo, I just went to his channel and the video isn't showing. Okay, hold on. I'll take it from here then. I'll just take it from here. This is wild. Are they censoring this guy? Did this video touch a nerve? Is someone upset? Like, it doesn't just... What? That's Dpro. Thank you for mentioning that. I just searched it, and the videos. It's not on his channel. I searched it on another tab. The video's gone. Guys, I think we're watching some forbidden stuff here. Let's continue to watch until we finish, because it might just get taken away halfway through. Appreciate that, Dpro CZ. Sabo says, but I have the choice with microtransactions. This takes the choice away. No. Oh, my sweet summer child. Sapo, you don't have the choice with microtransactions, because Borderlands 4 would have been a complete game were it not for microtransactions. Now, you don't have the choice to buy the complete game for 50 or 60 bucks. Now, you have to pay 70 bucks and then an extra 50 or 60 for the deluxe edition. You see how you don't have a choice there? You don't have a choice. And if you want to get the DLC after, you still have to stump up the 20, the 30 or whatever that's going to add up to the 50 or more. So you don't have the choice. One does not simply paste links into YouTube chat. I just did. Debra says it doesn't even show up among the first results. It's wild, bro. It is what it's like they're trying to censor this man. Somebody stop me. Yet, guys, please sub to Legendary Drops. Sub to this guy. He's an awesome YouTuber. Did he maybe rename the video and was post? He didn't rename it, bro. It's gone. You have to like scroll, I don't know where, all the way down, even though it's a video that's like recent. Fuzzy says you have the choice of waiting till it hits Game Pass. That is true. That is true. But we're gamers. Self-control for video gamers. I mean, come on. Come on. And let's talk about PC. For some reason, PC, maybe it's because that's where all the games are. Maybe that's why. But for some reason, PC gamers, they'll buy the games. Sorry, they'll wait. They'll wait 5 years if they have to. Suppose there's nothing that says I have to buy it. All right. You want to get pedantic with it? Sure. Ron Slasher tried to. Your shoulders. All right, let's get back to the video. Diplo says, I was thinking this wasn't something usual regarding internet regulations. It all started with the Steam having to, delist the games after that movement pushed the payment process a few days back. Yeah, man. It's happened very quickly. And because it's happened so quickly, in my opinion, that's why a lot of people have been like not as reactive to it, because it was so quick, like PayPal, MasterCard, and Visa just came in swinging, and before they could land the first punch, Steam's on their knees begging for mercy. It's done. Bell was wrong. Ref didn't even say, and your winner is. Bro, like they just gave them the belt and they ran out the stadium. People were like, what just, I thought the fight, what just happened? Lights are off, boom, it's dark. Get out. That's what happened with this whole situation. Then this UK Child Online Safety Act fallout on top of that with the $25 million punishment. Bro, it's wild. I'm thinking, because TSWS Gaming is about gaming. I'm thinking I'm going to open another channel just to talk about stuff like this, because the whole, what's happening in the UK is wild, bro. It is wild. I just have my popcorn and I'm just doing this. I'm not saying I hate the UK. I like the UK. Like my second favorite team is from the UK, Manchester United. I love the UK. But I wouldn't want to live there now. No, sir. Woo. Let's not get too much into that. This is about gaming. Latest video is 4 hours old and he seemed to rename it. Interesting. All right. For not having ID. Yeah, Deeper, it's wild, bro. It's wild what's happening. Let's carry on the video.
Title that was intentionally disturbing, that explores trauma, guilt, grief, and violence, but it never really showed any of those things directly. No interactive assault, no graphic reenactments, not the way that we would normally see them in other games, just surreal imagery and a heavy atmosphere that was built around implication, and yet still it was pulled. Not because it broke any.
So you don't even get to see anything. They just imply what could have happened or what did happen. And the implication is what gives you the chilling factor or feeling when you play Mouthwash. And they still got it off. Why? Because it offends 1,000 and something people that don't even buy and play video games. Okay.
Laws, not because it violated any terms of service, but because payment processors had cast a net so wide that even hinting at dark themes is enough to get games erased if someone else decides that it makes them uncomfortable.
Dude, by that metric, most of the best games of all time, you need to get them off Steam. They need to disappear. They need to not exist. Like Spec Ops The Line, gone. Metal Gear Solid 3 or Delta that's coming out soon, gone. The only thing that can be there is like proper PG content. Don't nobody want to interact with that? Even like older Zelda games, was it Ocarina of Time? Final Fantasy? Bruh. But if a game is taken from me, I think Steam should be able to have said group financially responsible for the removable of content. That's the thing. So far, Steam has not taken games away. I haven't heard anything about that, not even on Reddit or anything. Only itch.io has taken games away from people. Ronslage says the only game left we'll be playing is Baby Steps. Yeah, we'll be playing games like No, dude, Baby Steps might offend someone. You know why? Because when that guy walks, you can tell he is challenged in some motor with some motor functions. He's challenged. He's not. He is special, as they say, or he's challenged, or specially abled, whatever accepted term is used today. Guess what? Someone will be offended that that is being depicted. They'll say it's not being depicted the way it should be depicted. And guess what? Baby Steps is gone. The only acceptable games will be like Astrobot, Mario. Mario, right? Half of Italy or the whole of Italy could just become offended by Mario. And now Nintendo's has a problem. Like, people don't understand. Like, this is terrible, and it will escalate. Not that it could, it will. If we don't do anything, this will escalate. If that game sold 1,000 copies, that group should be paying the users to reimburse them. Yeah, sure, but sure, because companies and developers really care about the end user. Nah, man, unless you sue them, ain't nobody getting a cent. They're going after Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is filled. Yeah, we should be going after Game of Thrones. Do they like 50 Shades of Grey? All right, let's get that too. What else do they like? What else do they like? Does the lobby group in Australia like Harry Potter? We're offended by that. Actually, you know what? They are probably offended by that because there's witches and wizards. We all know how Bible thumpers feel about witches and wizards. I'm telling you, extremes of anything is terrible. It never ends well. Sapo says an extreme example, but true. Come on, man. You know what I'm talking about. Watching this from Czechia, middle of Europe. Oh, okay. Is that the Czech Republic? I just hope European Union won't do something similar like UK just did. Maybe it's lucky they left the European Union. Facts, deep bro. Facts. You know what? When the UK, oh man, we're okay. We're definitely off. I'll make this quick. When the UK left the EU, it was like it's over. You know, it's over. But when you look back and then you look at what's happening to the UK right now, it's like maybe this is good. And then you look at Europe. Europe is starting to shift. I won't get too much into it, but it's starting to shift. And I don't know if that would have been happening if the UK was still in the EU. Astrobot has too many pop culture references. I don't think they're offensive, though. Come on. Well, you know what? Everyone knows how the Bible thumpers are. Sapo says, I love witches. Yes, but go ahead and shout you love witches to these Bible thumpers. Try it, Sapo. See what happens. See what happens. It's already in action for the EU, DPro. It's becoming, oh my god. Okay. So this will be for another channel. We'll do this on another channel.
This is what happens when you hand over control to systems that do not care about context. These are financial institutions, not curators of art. They don't care about game reviews. They don't understand narrative nuance. They just react to pressure, to PR risk, to liability. And when they act, platforms fall in line because they don't have a choice. This is censorship by infrastructure. No appeals, no discussions, just silence.
This is financial terrorism. It's terrorism because they know there's no alternative. And as much as people like to try and act like Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal are different companies, they sure seem to agree on 100% of things. Not 99, 100% of things. They sure seem to agree on everything. Funny how that is.
And removal. That's what makes this so different from the censorship battles of the past. It's not a debate. It's not a public outcry. It's not a policy that you can push back on, because by the time anybody notices, the decision's already been made quietly behind the curtain. It's not just about what gets removed.
Yes.
It's about who gets to decide and how invisible that process has become. There's no transparency, no vote, no warning. Just
There's no dialogue. There's nothing. You are powerless. These payment processes have us over the barrel, and they're whispering in our ear, this is going to happen. Now, this is either going to happen the easy way, or it's going to happen the hard way. One thing's for sure, though, this is going to happen. And all I'm saying is, instead of wasting time trying to turn around and advocate to them to not have us over the barrel, what I'm advocating for, let them finish. Let the payment processes finish. Then you know what you do? You grab the activists, you hand them over to the payment processors with whatever hobbies and interests they have, and show them the barrel. That's all I'm saying. Because when the payment processors are done with them, same way they're getting done with us, the gamers and the activists will be able to have a clear, honest dialogue. And we can start to talk about, this is problematic. Oh, but why? And then we can have a back and forth. Because right now what's happening is that they don't want to talk to us. They skipped the gamers. They skipped Steam. They went straight to the payment processors. We need to do the same. Skip them. Skip whatever platform of entertainment, right, an outlet that they like. Skip those. Go straight to the payment processors and get a barrel. No baby oil, no lube, raw. And when those payment processors are done with their hobbies, with their interests, with their passions, we'll have a conversation as human beings. Until then, there's no space for that. And that was their choice. It wasn't ours. It was their choice.
a new rule, a new standard, and a growing silence where certain games used to be. And that's the trap, because these systems, once they fix the problem that they found, they escalate, they standardize, they start rewriting the rules behind the scenes and pretend like nothing has changed when everything has. The rules that you're governed by now aren't public, they aren't consistent, they're enforced by companies that you'll never speak to using guidelines that you'll never read.
There you go. Just like the Rule 15 on Steam. Who the hell even knows what these rules and policies are and standards? Who even knows what that is? Who knows? And even if we knew, are they going to notify us the way governments do when these things change? Are you sure? Are you sure?
Your access is now contingent on a constantly shifting set of expectations dictated by people that aren't even a part of the culture that they're regulating. Yep. So let's stop pretending like this is about one game or one advocacy group or one rule or even one controversy. This isn't even about explicit content anymore. This is about whether anyone outside of the system is even allowed to make decisions at all, whether platforms like Steam or itch.io have the right to host legal content, whether developers have the right to explore difficult themes, whether you have the right to access art that makes someone else uncomfortable.
Dude, a couple of months ago, before I left Maputo to move provinces, I went to watch Final Destination 8. The people that are lobbying for this, when they're done with our scalp, they're moving on to stuff like that. It always starts with, oh, won't someone think of the children? When they're done with that, the children will be affected somewhere else, and somewhere else, and somewhere else, and somewhere else. until 10, 15 years from now, the cycle starts all over again and all of us embrace woke again.
Most important.
Ron says, hope they don't take porn. It's done, bro. It's done. You heard about what's happening in the UK? You now have to provide ID to access those sites. It's over. It's Jova. It's Jova, bro. This thing is like a cascade. It always starts in these three places. It's always the US, the UK, EU. These issues, these problems, these stances, they always start at one of those three, and then everyone else falls in line. Because the people behind these decisions run most of the companies in most of the world, in some way, shape or way or form. Maybe not directly, but indirectly. You're gonna take McDonald's next? Nah. They won't take McDonald's. McDonald's. Ah, man, I can't say it. I'm not gonna say it. Dpro says, and remember that quote from 2005, never provide your information to the internet because of your safety. Now in 2025, provide all your information for the sake of your safety. Ka-ching! Dpro gets it. This guy gets it. This group is from Australia. And what I'm saying, Fuzzy, the Karens. Australia does not have exclusive rights of Karens. Australia does not have exclusive rights of Bible thumping, family values people. These people were the ones that were making our lives difficult in the 80s, the 90s, and the early 2000s. These people were there all over the place, not just Australia. They were in the US, they were here in Africa, they were in Europe, they were everywhere. And then woke took over, we took over, and we were happy about taking over. And then what happened? We couldn't keep it together. We got overzealous, we overreached, and people were like, yo, woke is terrible. And then they switched the shit around. And now everyone's like ultra conservative because they're like, yo, woke was terrible. And you know what? I'll admit it. The last 10 years, maybe 12 years, woke was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. I think we achieved most of our goals by like 2010, 2011. And then you know how it is when you get bored. After you've beaten the game, you're bored. Then you get like cheat codes. And then you start doing all types of wild stuff. Well, that's what happened. We beat the game, and instead of just being content and enjoy life, we decided, you know what, let's do even more. And doing more pissed off a lot of people. Justifiably so. It pissed off a lot of people. And now, for the next, 10 years, we're going to have to bite the bullet, pay the price, bite the pillow. It is what it is. Anonymity is the single most valuable thing almost nobody has left. No one has it. If anyone thinks that if they want to find you, they won't be able to find you and discover what you're doing, I have a bridge to sell you. I have a bridge in Wakanda to sell you.
Importantly, whether we are allowed to choose how we spend our money. The reason why I brought up the history of how different forms of media have either been censored or...
The only way for total internet anonymity, don't use the internet. Don't use the internet. You'll be good. You'll be very anonymous if you do that. I'm just saying.
Regulated or come under fire from politicians or the news or from advocacy groups is to prove or at least illustrate that groups like Collective Shout, while obnoxious, incredibly obnoxious, and while something to fight against, they are the symptom, not the disease. There's always going to be a group of people that are out there that...
Yes, There's always going to be a
They're going to
group.
try to tell you how to live your life, what you can and can't do, what you can consume, what you can
Yes.
buy, all kinds of different things. You have people that are out there that believe that they can tell you what kind of food you can eat. You got
Remember my analogy with the burger?
countries, you got governments, you got religions, you got tons of groups just like these guys
Yep.
that are trying to do the exact same thing every single day. And something like this is only going to continue to escalate because essentially now there's blood in the water. They got a little taste of power, and
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
now that they got it, well, they're going to keep pushing.
All the way to the bank. All the way to the bank. They're going to keep going.
Especially when it comes to some of these companies. Because
It's like a reinforcing behavior. It's like a reinforcing behavior. If you like, if your child wakes up early and then you give them, I don't know, some type of gift, I don't know, candy. Let's say candy, for example. Then when they wake up late, there's no breakfast. I'm not saying that's what I do. I'm just using an example. They wake up late, there's no breakfast. You just go straight to school, get to school, and whatever, right? But if you wake up on time, it's pancakes, it's some candy, it's a nice morning. You're creating an unconscious, like, behavioral expectation. The child will even start to associate waking up early with feeling good, right? And this connection, it doesn't stop at childhood. Even during adulthood, those connections continue to occur. So what happens is these people, they bitch about something, it works, they've made a connection. They bitch about the next thing, it works, that connection gets stronger. They bitch about the third thing, it works, it keeps getting stronger and tougher and tougher and tougher. Next thing, it's as tough as, like, I don't know, vibranium, I guess. So yes, this is not the end. Woke isn't a bad thing. They appropriated and slurred the meaning of it. They turned it into something disgusting. Sapo, the only reason it got turned into that is that it got so big and so out of control. Most movements, when they're small, agile, and specific, are extremely effective. As soon as they, like, balloon, becomes a shit show. Woke was the same thing. In America, our history is diverse. Diversity is its best asset. Now people are hating that. They even think Jesus Christ's message of love is too. Sapo, I will send you the link to the new channel, which will not be focusing on video games, and then we can delve into these topics. Just give them cereal, healthy. Oh, stop it, Vince. It's not what I actually do in my home. Stop it.
because these companies want control. More importantly, they
They already have control. Don't lie to you. They already have control.
want control of your money.
Dude, again, okay, I disagree on two specific points here with Legendary Trust, but I guess they're two tiny points considering the context, but they already have control, and they already have control of our money. What happened these last 2 weeks, was a demonstration of the power and ownership and control that they already have. They didn't start having control last week or the week before that. They've always had control. They've just never done anything with it. That's the only thing that's changed.
It's like the easiest thing for them. What if we could just cut out the middleman? What if we just cut you out entirely and just take your money? Wouldn't that just be perfect? Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, Stripe, these four companies control the
Stripe is the fourth one.
vast majority of the flow of wealth in the entire world because
I need to maybe research what the alternatives to those four are. I'm curious now. Like, is there a fifth?
they are global.
No, not cryptocurrency.
accepted. Not every single payment processor is globally accepted. These guys are.
Yes.
So that means if one of these guys stops something and blocks it, that's a problem. And if they all four start working together and they all block,
That's what they've been doing, dude. It's not if. That's what they've been doing. PaySafe is the only payment way that remains. Okay, but my question to you, Dpro, is: does PaySafe have do they have bank details? Can they send cards to people that don't live in the US or Europe, etc., etc.? Like, can I move my financial a piece of my financial life to PaySafe? I'd be very curious about that. And also, like, what platforms even support PaySafe? I've never heard of it personally. V-Bucks is the alternative. All right, Ron Slash, I'm putting you on timeout. I'm putting you on timeout.
something like a cartel, like they are right now,
Yes, they're a fucking cartel.
well, nothing can get through. In that event, you have no options. There's no alternative. And that
The only option, I'm not gonna say. This episode has been lewd enough. BTC is the bank, XMR Monero is the PayPal alternative. Okay, but that's not applicable for someone like me, Vince. I'm saying I'd be looking for an alternative to Visa, PayPal, MasterCard, and Stripe. I don't live in Europe, so is there a viable alternative to those four? I don't think there is.
that's the perfect world for these companies. They want you to not have any answers. You can't even use your debit card. Most debit cards have a Visa logo on it.
Yeah.
That's your own money that you're not allowed to use. PayPal's the exact same thing, and Stripe, I think, is probably the same. I don't think I've ever used Stripe, but
PaySafe is in simple terms. You buy the code with your money. You get code on ticket. That code you can use. You can then use wherever it's supported to pay via it digitally. Yeah, and the issue is, in my life, I've never seen a PaySafe option for stuff that I buy. Like, let's say video games, for example. Does PaySafe is Steam? Can I use PaySafe to buy games on Steam, Epic, EA, and GOG, all these other places? Can I use PaySafe?
those are like the exact same thing. That's usually tied directly to your bank account. You think that's your money? Not anymore.
Stop it. Stop it.
I've seen people cry out that these are private companies, that this is a free market. What are you talking about? What world do you live in? These companies have gone far past the point of private company. They are infrastructure, critical infrastructure. You're not able to make
What? They're not private companies. What's he talking about? They are private companies.
online purchases without these guys anymore. You might
They're not private companies because you can't make online services without them. You can't. You can't. Oh my God. Hold on. Let me rewind this. What's he saying?
private company. What do you live in?
Hold on.
These companies have gone far past the point of private company. They are infrastructure,
Their infrastructure.
critical infrastructure. You're not able to make online purchases without these guys anymore. You might be able to pay your bills, but outside of that, you're not buying anything online. And in an increasingly more digital world with more digital storefronts, that's a problem.
I think he's right. Yeah, if you don't interact with these guys, you're essentially cut off from the rest of the planet. That's messed up. Okay, so there's still okay. I still kind of disagree with them. Yes, there's still private companies, but yes, also they still they now function as critical infrastructure.
A real problem. They're
Like these guys,
essentially a utility. They're no different than gas or electricity or
yeah,
water or anything else.
yeah, yeah. The same way you need water in your home or electricity. I think in the year of our Lord 2025, you actually need to have like the ability to make purchases online. He's right. He's right. I retract. I retract my statement disagreeing with him. He added some context there. Side conspiracy. Ty isn't here because he can't use the internet without ID. Yeah, because Ty is in the UK. Bro, I never once thought that I would not be jealous of people living in the UK, but right now,
And as time goes on, we're not going to be able to get around that. These guys have to be regulated. And if they're not regulated,
yeah,
well, they're our new government now.
yeah.
But that doesn't mean that they're without weakness. And we are fighting back.
Okay.
One of the reasons I've been so vocal about Stop Killing Games and why I keep bringing it up.
Oh yeah. Quick reminder, everyone. If you're European, if you're here, if you're European, please look up stopkillinggames.com. Sign the petition with your real ID. Do not spam it with fake IDs or double voting or whatever, because they do check that in the EU. And the more fake votes, the more like negative it will be to the petition itself. Stop Killing Games is essentially a petition to get politicians to act and stop video game companies and publishers from taking games away from people after we've paid for them. It's not to say that we want them to keep online games online forever, but it's to say if you charge me even $1 for a game, that game now belongs to me. If I want to boot it up and play it 10, 15, 20 years from now, you need to make it playable. I'm not saying keep up servers. We didn't ask you to make these games always online. You made that decision yourself. So now you're going to have to build games that have bots that will play with me in the year 2050 when I feel like it. And you're done with the game, right? It doesn't bring you enough money. That's essentially what Stop Killing Games is. So please make sure to go to the Stop Killing Games initiative and lend your voice. Lend your voice. Fuzz said, I don't think any of these payment companies are private companies. Steam is private still, though. Yeah, Steam is private, but I used to have such like an elevated view of Gabe Newell and Steam. My view of Steam has folded as quickly as Steam did to the pressure from the payment companies. Yeah. Yeah. People who use fake ID generators on this are actually mental. That's like illegal and charged with 10 years prison sentence. Yeah, it's madness. It's madness. At the end of the day, like it's important. Yeah, it's important. But at the end of the day, it's video games, bro. Don't get arrested. Don't become a felon. Don't become a criminal because of video games. Relax. Your shoulders.
Is because we desperately need to pump the brakes when it comes to our blind trust in digital storefronts and digital economies. Their growing prominence has given corporations near total control over access.
I love that he's using Metal Gear Solid 5 for like gameplay. It's nice. This is also why our children will be atheists, in my opinion. They'll be atheists. Sapo, quickly try and explain that one. I'm curious. Dipro says directly from PaySafeCard web. About Us page, which online stores accept PayCard. We work, excuse me, we work with over 1,000 online stores in areas like gambling, sports betting, music, entertainment, and more. Huh. To see which stores partner with us, check their payment page. Appreciate that, Dipro. Appreciate that. Yes, Vince. Your shoulders. So you don't want credit card companies to decide creative decisions on games, but you want the government to force creative decisions in games. Okay, here's how I see it. Stop Killing Games does not influence, it's not calling for the influence of creative decisions per se. It's calling for ownership. That's not creative. It's not creative. I bought this television, right? I have a monitor app. I bought it. This is mine. I can watch anything on it. And at no point will Samsung be like, "Oop, we're taking this away from you." So again, Fuzzy, and I understand why you might get it confused, but it's not about creative liberties. The companies, right? The companies, the publishers, when when they respond to the Stop Killing Games things, they always try to obfuscate with these side discussions because they don't want to address the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room is you sold a product, but the person that bought that product doesn't own it. That's a problem. It should be a problem in any industry. There's no industry where it makes sense that you buy something, but it's not yours. Only video games. Fuzzy says it 100% changes game design. No, ownership is not about game design. You can design your game however you want. What you can't do is say you don't own that game. And at any point, I can snap that game away. Unless, and I would be okay with this, unless all of these companies signed up and said, you know what? We want to maintain our right to take these games away as long as they sign up to reimburse everyone that spent the money on those games. I'm down. I am down. When Matt Likes Games buys NBA 2K27 for $70, and then he spends another $100 on VC Bucks, and then in 2030, NBA 2K for some reasons like, oh no, we want to take all those games away. And 2K Games wants to take those games away. If the deal is Matt gets back $170 in the year 2030, at that point, I officially rebuke Stop Killing Games, because we're not owning these games anymore. We're paying to have access to these games, and then when they take the games away, they give us back our full amount of money that we put in. If that's the deal, I'm down, Fuzzy. 1 billion%. The television can show ads. Did you agree to their terms and conditions? They can take the Netflix app offline whenever they please. Okay, that's now taking it to the Nintendo thing. We're taking it to the Nintendo thing where you're now taking functionality out of the specific piece of hardware that you bought, right? Breaking the hardware in some way, shape, or form. I'm talking specifically about Stop Killing Games. Stop Killing Games is, if we follow this analogy with the Samsung TV, is I bought the TV, it projects whatever it is that I plug into the HDMI. That's the deal I made, at least, right? And if at no point that gets taken away from me, that's cool. But if that functionality can get taken away from me, then I don't own the TV. It's not mine. It goes back to that thing that was the analogy I gave of the Lamborghini, right? It can be in Vincent Vega's name. It can be parked at his home. But if I can snap my fingers every day and say I want the Lamborghini at my house at 6 a.m. sharpish because I want to do I don't know whatever, and then I can also tell Vince you can only drive to this and this and this and this place. Whose Lamborghini is it really? Whose is it? It's mine, right? Functionally speaking. So that's what I'm talking about with ownership. Depro, exactly. Once you pay for something digitally, you shall own it and not have it taken, not have it able to be taken away / destroyed by patch or update or something like that. Exactly. So if Kojima wants to make Death Stranding 3 a weird thing and whatever, he wants to put all types of design things. Back to you, Fuzzy. It's fine. But once I pay that $70 or 40 when it's on sale or whatever, that's mine. At no point can Kojima Productions make it so I cannot access that game anymore. Because if that is a thing that is defendable and acceptable, when that happens, the only way that can be okay is if everyone agrees that, all right, when that happens, Loke gets his $70 back. If that's the deal, I'm down. But as it stands, the deal is we're taking the shit and you can piss off. That's the deal as it stands, and that's why we have the Stop Killing Games petition. Wait, is Loke getting... It's a little bit.
Pricing, availability, and now content itself.
Fuzzy says, you'd call it a genius game mechanic if Kojima made your game unplayable. Look what you're doing, man. Look at what you're doing. Fuzzy, don't be like that. Listen, I will not badmouth Kojima. Not today.
Conversation so far has been mostly focused on ownership, which is great, but there's a deeper problem beneath that. The rise of digital storefronts has handed control of actual commerce, our money, to third-party payment processors. The money that you earn, the cash that's in your account, isn't really yours if a company like Visa or PayPal decides.
Going back to what I said at the beginning, you will own nothing, and you will be happy about it. Gentlemen, you don't own your money. And everyone is happy about the convenience of not owning our money. And here we are. There's the example. Today, they're taking away your option to buy things. Tomorrow, they'll take away your account.
You're not allowed to spend it. I've seen people get distracted by the wrong targets, lashing out at Steam or itch.io as if these are the guys that are making the calls right now. But that's exactly what these payment processors want. They want the blame placed on the platform holders that had no real choice. What were their real options? Shut down payments overnight, rebuild their entire back end to use an alternative provider, one that could just
make a statement. That's all we needed. Make a statement. Like, all Steam had to do was make it so every time you log on to Steam, there's like a little notification pop up, or even a big one that covers the whole thing, and be like, these games are not available anymore on Steam thanks to PayPal, MasterCard, and Visa, for example. Or they could have held out. They could have been like, yo, it's a war we're not going to win. But you know what? For a month, Steam's on pause. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the uproar? Can you imagine the reaction? This would get to government, like Parliament. This would get discussed in the EU, in the US Senate. I'm telling you, if Steam was to be like, you know what? let's have a spine for 30 days. If in 30 days nothing happens, we'll bend the knee. But for 30 days, Steam be like, all right, everything's paused, and every time you log on to Steam, there's that big disclaimer. Like, yeah, Steam has stopped because of these 4 companies. Speak to your local representative, etc., etc. I'm telling you guys, a month of no buying video games, that will get the ball rolling. On the biggest the biggest storefront in gaming, because it is the biggest storefront. A PlayStation, Xbox, the biggest storefront in all of gaming is Steam. If Steam decided to have a spine for 30 days, I'm telling you, would have some progress with this. Fake money still pays real bills. Steam did that. They said it's about the payment processes, and that's what I'm saying, Fuzzy. That's what I'm saying. They said that. Some people got upset and cool, but I'm saying like the move, the real move, 30 days. 30 days. No one buys nothing. The store doesn't work. It's all down because of Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, and the Karens in Australia. This would get fun very quickly.
Easily use the exact same restrictions at any moment, or just cut out digital payments entirely and tell players to go buy Steam cards, which are limited in supply, restricted by region, and could.
I think that's going to work because even for you to buy the Steam cards, you still have to use the cards from the cartel. That's what I'm calling them now. I'm not using the three or four names. It's just the cartel for the rest of the rest of the video. Yeah, it's a cartel.
Just as easily be pulled by the same payment processors that are pressuring these guys right now. That's the stranglehold these companies have.
The card cartel. Nope. The payment cartel.
Don't operate in a free market. They operate above it, dictating what's
They are the market, bro.
allowed to exist inside. And that control isn't just economic, it's creeping into legislation. In the UK, the Online Safety Act is.
Oh, yeah. What are the new UK online safety rules, and how will age checks on adult content be enforced? From 25 July, websites and apps will be required to protect children by filtering out harmful content and verifying ages. It's Jova, people. It's Jova. Drop the payment. Cardell. Ooh! I like that. Cardell. I like it, Vince. Appreciate that one. The Cardell. Yeah. Yeah.
Begun reshaping how platforms handle content, not just what they host, but how they verify who accesses it. Under the new law, websites must implement strict age verification for anything considered adult, explicit, or potentially harmful, whatever that actually means. That means real names, real documents, full compliance, and if a site can't afford the infrastructure to be able to verify users by ID, well, it just disappears. This is...
Guys, and then with the whole verification of ID, I just thought it was so wild. With the whole verification of ID thing, right? Essentially, Vince, I'm going to use you as an example. Essentially, we have a world where, I don't know if you guys heard about the T app. It was an app that women had to verify that they were women with like IDs and pictures and all, a lot of like doxing or doxable information, addresses, blah, 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 phone numbers, all of that. Apparently that site that only women could join got hacked. I don't know how it got hacked, but it got hacked. And now all the information of all the women on that site that were talking all types of madness is on the internet for all to see, with like the links to exactly what they said while they were on said site. So if we follow this trail, and I'm sorry, even Facebook got hacked. There's no website that's never been hacked, especially these ones that have people's sensitive information. They seem to always get hacked, right? The whole UK thing, right? With the naughty sites. Essentially, what they're saying is, for example, Vince, if he lived in the UK, now lives in a world where it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time that those websites get hacked or leaked or whatever, and then people search Vincent Vega amongst the leaks, and it'll come up like his favorite material, his most preferred performers. It's wild. It's wild what they're trying to do in the UK, man. It's I'm staying my ass over here. That's what I'm doing. This was my annual the Facebook reference I was contractually obligated to make to be left alone by the lizard people. My guy. All right, back to the video.
Not about child safety. It's about normalizing surveillance.
Get in there. Oh my God. Stop it, Vince. Stop it. Stop it.
It's about conditioning people to believe that having access to legal content online should come at the cost of giving up your identity. Beyond that, this is the elimination of privacy. We know that we cannot trust these companies with our personal information. We have seen exactly what happens when our personal data ends up in the wrong hands. The T-App, that toxic social media platform that encouraged women to...
Yep. Yeah. That happened this last week. I saw a video from It's a Gundam. Fucking hilarious.
Anonymously post photos of men and spread unverified accusations required ID verification for its users. So when the breach hit, it wasn't just usernames that got leaked out. It was real names, government IDs, location data. But T isn't the exception. We've seen PlayStation accounts compromised, exposing
PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, everyone. As soon as you go online, you're at risk. As soon as you go online, you're at risk.
Emails and real names and credit card information. We've seen Facebook and social media logins linked to adult content through data leaks.
Yep, even Facebook. Vince says these women deserve to be exposed. Who am I to say who deserves and who doesn't? What I will say is that it's hilarious. That's what I will say.
Leading to harassment, doxing, and career-threatening exposure. And now governments are...
Yeah, career-threatening. Because now people can just go on there and search. Like, all right, Lope Salmon, what do you say? What do you say? And then just grab that, attach it to something else, send it to HR anonymously, and bam. It's Jover.
Pushing for that exact same level of personal verification to be mandatory on adult platforms, explicit game storefronts, and anything that these guys deem high risk. But that's exactly the point. These systems are not...
And once again, who gets to deem something high risk? What's the criteria? And who is the saint of purity? Who is the holy mother or father of content? Who can see, peruse, and filter what is acceptable for us mere mortals to consume? Jover usage declined after Trump took over office. BTW News at 11. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Father says you should be up to the platform holder. And yet, that's not what's happening.
Designed to protect you. They are designed to manage you. And in managing...
It was perfectly fine when Steam was doing it. It was perfectly fine, but wasn't enough. Wasn't enough for the Karens.
They strip away something deeper than your privacy. They take away your ability to choose freely without fear or compromise. This is the slow, methodical elimination of freedom of choice, not just through government regulation, but through systems that are built.
Guys, 1989 is not just a year that existed or that happened. There's a book, and I would highly recommend 1989. Fuzzy says, I'm perfectly fine if Steam or Microsoft doesn't want to host something. Yeah. I'm also perfectly fine with that. But we're now in a situation where it's like it's not Steam or Microsoft that's picking. Sorry, you're right, Fuzzy. 1984. My bad. 1984. My bad. 1984. We're in a situation where it's not Steam or Microsoft or itch.io that's deciding what is and isn't acceptable. Now it's a bunch of people that know nothing about what they're advocating to cancel. That's what's happening. That's where we're at right now.
To enforce it quietly and permanently. Rules that you never voted on enforced by companies that you can't opt out of. Laws like the Online Safety Act that are demanding compliance from corporations that just fall in line because, well, some of these guys don't really have much of a choice and the other ones really do like the control. Activist groups that are out there stripping away your privacy in the name of protection. Corporations stripping away your autonomy and selling it back to you as convenience. You don't get a choice in what platforms you use, how you pay, or what content you engage with, not without submitting to somebody else's conditions first. And while everybody is arguing over what political group they can blame, the truth is far more dangerous. This is just what happens when power consolidates. It doesn't matter who holds it. Once they have it, they will.
We are the ones who ceded power. So now we pay the price. It's important. How can I put this without offending anyone? There used to be a time when 9 out of 10 men knew how to change a light bulb, knew how to change switches and plugs and do basic wiring. There was a time like that. 9 out of 10 guys could do that. I would say today it's like 4 out of 10 or less. In a way, we have ceded power. And now things that used to be whatever jobs, even plumbing as well, things that used to be whatever, they're now super specific and in some places getting super expensive. It's gotten to the point where there's guys that, like plumbers, will come over to their place. They don't even understand the mechanisms. They don't even understand how the water goes to their sink. How can you even negotiate with these people about cost? We've done the same thing with payment processors. We've ceded, right, the control of our money to them. So now they can do whatever they want. They can charge us whatever they want. They can give us or take from us whatever they want. And we're at their mercy because we don't even understand the systems. There's no apparatus for us to reach to and change things. We're just at their mercy over a barrel. And that's why I'm trying to say, I think it's late. It's very late in the game. I'm not saying we can't fix it or recover it, but I think it's going to take a lot more time and years to recover our autonomy in this specific field. But going back to my original point, if we figure out a way to get the Karens over a barrel with their hobbies and their interests the way they've done to us right now, and let the Cardells have their way and cancel and delist all of the stuff that they like, or even just a little bit of the stuff that they like, suddenly they're going to want to have a conversation with us. It's not going to be antagonistic. And then we can now look with patience and with time, we can now look to remedy the situation with the cartel. Because that process is a lot longer than a lot of people think. It's not going to be like a 3 or 6 month thing or a year. Oh, yeah. Let's make noise. And then MasterCard and Visa and PayPal and Stripe, or whatever the fourth one is, they're suddenly going to, no. It's going to take a lot longer than that. So before we address that, let's get the Karens over a barrel. Let's take away the things they love the same way they've done to us, even if it's just a little bit. That way, they don't feel the motivation to continue to take from us. They'll have some cause for pause. And while they're paused, we now have the time and the patience to sit with the cartel and figure out how to take some power back. And that's going to take years, if we're being honest. Ron Slash says, I'll become a payment processor and take care of your money. Sure, Ron. Sure.
Will use it, and they will use it against you. That's what unchecked control looks like. You don't have to agree on the ideology. You just have to agree and recognize the structure and hopefully fight against it. And lucky for us, that fight has already begun across every front, political, cultural, and corporate. The battle lines are being drawn. These companies do not fear ethics, my friends. They fear risk, and we need to show them that
they do not fear ethics. They fear risk. And again, this is what I keep saying. The companies and corporations, they're not thinking and feeling human beings. There's no empathy. These companies are as sentient as, I don't know, as my phone. They're as sentient as my phone, which is not at all. They just want to make their money.
we are the greater.
Which is why we have to squeeze the sentient beings, the ones that were motivated to screw us. Squeeze them, because they'll feel it.
Risk that there are more of us than there are of these activist groups that they're pretending to represent. Silence is not an option. Right after Steam and itch.io began pulling content, users across 4chan and all of social media launched what they were calling...
What's this? 4chan users plan to launch a calling campaign, or campaign calling this weekend against Collective Shout dubbed Operation Fire with Fire. What? Let me open my Twitter. I need to see this. Is this for real? This is from Pirate Nation. Pirate _ Nation. Fire with fire. Okay, it's real. All right, it's real.
Operation Fight Fire with Fire, a grassroots movement that is flooding Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, and other processors with...
As the Patriots look, MGS2, Kojima always right. Yes, he will swim. Kojima sees the future. At this point, who can deny it? He just won't tell us. But Kojima has glimpses to the future. He takes that and molds it into his video games. And then when people ask him, "Oh, can you see the future?" He makes that grin and that awkward laugh, like, "Oh, I'm just a guy. I just made the game. Sure, bud. Sure. Because if he told us the truth, I guess the world would change. if Kojima told us the truth.
Calls and
Y'all make sure to smash the like button. Make sure to smash the like button.
emails using the exact same tactics that Collective Shout used.
Oh. Hold on. Call these numbers, hold down 0 if you hear a robo voice. US and Canada. There's international calls. These numbers are reverse billed, which means Visa loses money. Oh! Really? I might have to print this screen. It costs Visa money? Gentlemen, gentlemen, if you're listening to this and you're not looking at the screen, I need you to stop what you're doing, look at the screen, get your pen and paper out. All right? Look at the screen. Collective Shout was able to get porn banned on Steam and multiple other storefronts with only 1,000 calls. We could easily do a lot more. This weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we're going to call the fuck out of them. Call these numbers. Hold down 0 if you hear a robo voice for the US and Canada. So that's 1-800-847-2911. For international, this is where I come into play. 1303-967-1096 or 1303-967-1090. These numbers are reverse billed, which means Visa loses money when you call. We are already getting reports of them getting thousands of calls. Listen, when I first saw this, right, when I first saw the phone numbers, I was like, yo, man, I'm not about, like, I'm about this, but I don't think I can swing international calls. But if they're reverse billed, ladies and gentlemen, we have so much passive time. I'm sorry, guys. When you're playing Death Stranding and that long ass cutscene comes on and you want to pretend like you're one of these hip kids and you don't care about the story, you know what? Get your phone out and instead of going to Twitter, make a phone call. When you're at McDonald's waiting in line, save this number, actually. Save the number. Put it on speed dial. And anytime you have free time while you wait for whatever, your dentist. Guys, before you go on Twitter, before you go on Facebook, before you go on Instagram to look at some tatas, before you go anywhere, one call. Just one call. Hold down 0 if you hear a robo voice. And just once a day. Don't leave it to Saturday or Sunday. Every day. Set a reminder. If you're someone that's busy and you don't have time, figure out when you have time. When you're going for your lunch break, when you're going to take a dump, and you know you're going to be on your phone as well, please. One call. Once a day from every gamer. Even if it costs Steam, even if it costs Visa $1 per phone call. Oh my God, this is beautiful. I'm going as soon as I'm done with this pod. This is the first thing I'm going to do. And then I'm going to confirm if this is literally reverse billed. If it's still reverse billed, I'm going to call these guys like a motherfucker. I'm going to call these guys like I have diabetes and their phone number gives me insulin. That's how I'm gonna call these guys. What do I do if they answer? I don't know, bro. Hang up. Or if they answer, you know what? Let's keep watching. If there's no if there's no actual if there's no actual guidance from this group, Sapo, I'll DM you a response and I'll come up with a response for tomorrow's pod with Ham. I'll come up with a response and I'll put it up on screen and then I want everyone to copy and paste it. It's not a problem. I will come up with a 10-word statement. Like the shorter the better. We need a short statement so when the person picks up, they don't have enough time to hang up before you finish saying what you're saying in relation to the payment processor cartel. I'll come up with something to say if they pick up Sapo. Oh, this is beautiful. Oh, be still, my beating heart. This is awesome. This is awesome.
Processors with calls and emails.
All right, here's another one. Okay, they're saying the same thing. These are their ethics departments, the same places collective shout spam call to get what they wanted. Oh, there's emails. Boys, they have emails. Okay. Okay. I don't think I need to tell you what to do with the emails. We all know how to use spam bots to send emails. We all know how to do that. You can make a single email, then send it to all. No, we're not sending one, motherfucker. We're sending everyone. Send all the backup. Send all the backup.
Using the exact same tactics that Collective Shout used. This isn't rage bait. This is optics. It's numbers. It's a way of
Boys, let's get to work. Let's get to work.
proving in an undeniable volume that actual consumer bases are watching. And
With the stop killing games thing, I'm not gonna lie. I still do feel very frustrated because I don't have any like power and influence on it. Like I cannot personally do anything about stop killing games because I'm not in Europe. But with this, oh, I'm about to go ham on this one.
we're not happy. Visa is already trying to downplay their role. One Reddit user even shared
I think I'm gonna get another phone, right? Because I have my main two lines that I use for work. I think I'm gonna get a third phone just so I don't keep those ones occupied. I'm gonna get a third phone, and they were like when I'm watching movies, especially like those old movies with, and then when I'm watching I don't know, freaking Dora the Explorer with my daughter or whatever. Guys, we could have fun with this.
a response from the company saying that they don't moderate content.
Okay. There's a response from Visa. Thank you for reaching out and sharing your perspective. As a global company, we follow the laws and regulations everywhere we do business. While we explicitly prohibit illegal activity on our network, we are equally committed to protecting legal commerce. If a transaction is legal, wait. While we explicitly prohibit illegal activity on our network, we are equally committed to protecting legal commerce. Nothing that was on Steam, nothing. I don't care. Not even the grape games, not even the incest games. Nothing that was already on Steam was illegal. Not saying immoral. Illegal for a video game. Nothing, not a single game that was removed. If a transaction, so right off the bat, that's bullshit. Right off the bat, that's bullshit. If a transaction is legal, our policy is to process the transaction. But that's bullshit, right? That is bullshit. Because all those games were quote unquote legal. We do not make moral judgments on legal. Motherfucker, that's exactly what you just did. You did make moral judgments on legal purchases. You stopped the possibility of people buying those or making those purchases on Steam, and on Itch, those things even got taken away from people that had already bought them. So another lie, corpo's gonna corpo. Visa does not moderate content sold by merchants. Lie number 3. Who's keeping track? Is anyone keeping track in chat? It's a lot of lies here. Nor do we have visibility into the specific goods or services sold when we process a transaction. If that were true, Steam would have delisted every single game. But they delisted specific games. Wonder why? I wonder why. Even though you're saying you have no visibility into specific goods or services sold. Sure, buddy. When a legally operating merchant faces an elevated risk of illegal activity, we require enhanced safeguards for the banks supporting those merchants. The thing is, right? They said when a legally operating merchant faces an elevated risk, again with the fake, with the vague, not fake, vague verbiage, elevated risk of illegal activity. What does that mean? Qu'est-ce que ça? It means whatever the fuck the moral Bible thumpers want it to mean. Today, it means no Guna games. Tomorrow, no guns. The day after that, no swearing. See where this is going? Quick reminder, guys, please make sure to go and buy Schedule 1. I'm telling you. I have $10 that says Schedule 1. Schedule 1, if this continues the way it's going and we don't get Visa and MasterCard and PayPal to bend the knee, if this continues like this, Schedule 1 will make it out the year. By 2026, it's going to be gone. And it's gone, like the South Park meme. Vince says they will charge you for international probably. Vince, I care enough to try even the first time. If they charge me the first time, then I'll know, damn. But if they don't charge me, oh my word. I'm going to be a problem.
And they don't make moral judgments on legal purchase.
Visa is about to really know Mozambique. I'll make a call every hour. Nah, I'll be too busy for that. I'll make a call every day at least. At least once a day. I will find a time that I'm always free. Right before every podcast, I'm making a call. Right after every podcast, I'm making a call.
But that's exactly what they did, and that's exactly what they've been doing. Their excuse is that certain purchases pose a risk to the brand, but what that actually means is that they're afraid of bad press. They want to pretend like they had nothing to do with this, maybe quietly walk it back, avoid taking the hit, but it's too late for that. The story's out, and the last thing that these companies want is for that story to stay out, because that's how their reputations start to crack, that's how investor confidence drops, and that's how regulators start circling. But even that only treats the symptom. The real cure is proper regulation and meaningful consumer protections. Meaningful consumer protections, the kind that should already exist but don't. And that's a failure.
The menace of Mozambique, bro. So I might get a phone call or I might get someone knocking at my gate like, yo, sir, we would like to have a conversation with you. Even then, be worth it. Even then.
That largely rests with politicians that are too entangled in lobbying and others that are just too slow to catch up with a digital economy.
Bro, these politicians, I'm sorry, whether they're in Africa, Europe, wherever, These politicians, a lot of them don't even know what video games even are. When you talk to them about video games, they think about Mario. Have you seen these fossils? I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Do they even know what video games even are today? If you showed them Horizon Forbidden West, would they even understand what the goal is? If you showed them Elden Ring, would they understand the concept of what's happening on the screen? Come on.
That's evolving faster than the laws that are governing it. Right now, though, there is a sign of progress. It's a U.S. bill that was introduced back in February.
What's this? HR 987, fair access to banking. Sponsor Representative Andy Barr. Financial services, okay. We don't have specific here.
By Congressman Andy Barr, called the Fair Access to Banking Act, which states this bill places restrictions on certain banks, credit unions, and payment card networks if they refuse to do business with a single person that.
Ooh. This bill is not going to pass. This bill is not going to pass. Because in an era, in an age where they want to control and regulate, like the next step, in my opinion, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm fairly confident. The next step is to like block people's access to their bank accounts because of what they say online. You know? Like, let's use the UK as an example. The next step, the current step is if you say, if you criticize the influx of certain visitors to the island of the UK right now, if you criticize that, you can go to jail. People are going to jail. People are losing jobs, etc. just for posting that on the net. The next level, especially after they now force people to put up their IDs and whatever to connect to their accounts, the next level is, oh, you said this thing that Visa thinks is troublesome or risky, etc. Guess what? Your card doesn't work anymore. Good luck living your life. That's the next level, in my opinion. So that's why I'm saying this bill is not going to pass, because this bill essentially is saying it's handcuffing these companies to say that it doesn't matter what Vince or Loke or anyone says on the internet about anything. You must always serve the people that have accounts. This is not going to go well. This bill is not going to
complies with the law. Restrictions include prohibiting the use of electronic funds transfer systems and lending programs, termination of institutions' depository insurance, and specified civil penalties. Banks and other specified
This is not going to pass. If I'm putting money on it, it's not going to.
Financial institutions are allowed to deny financial services to a person only if the denial is justified by a documented failure of that person to meet quantitative, impartial, risk-based standards established in advance by the institution. This justification may not be based on reputational risk to the institution.
Nope.
This bill establishes the right for a person to bring civil action for a violation of this bill. This bill would essentially just cut off everything at the root. It strips.
It's not going to happen.
Payment processors of the power to act like moral gatekeepers and blocks them from being able to deny
I wanted to. It's not going to happen.
Legal purchases just because they don't like the way that something looks. And while I know that the internet is full of political division, this is one of the few issues that cuts through everything. It doesn't.
The problem is we don't vote. Like maybe I misunderstand American law. The bill gets like proposed by these senators or representatives, goes to the Senate, and then the politicians there are the ones who vote. But those politicians are influenced by lobbies, right? They call them lobbyists, but really it's corruption. The thing is, it's corruption when it's done in Africa. When it's done in the US, it's lobbying. That's what it is. But the action is the same. It's companies, corporations, whatever, giving politicians money so they can make the decisions in their favor. And it's very few corporations that have more money than Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, and whatever the fourth one's called. Very few corporations that have more money than those guys. So I'm pretty sure this thing is going to get shot down. It's a beautiful idea, but it benefits the people in a political system controlled by corporations.
Doesn't matter where you're from, who you voted for, or what kind of content you like. This affects everyone. The only real way forward here is to put aside the usual fights, support this legislation, and push it to get it passed. Because if we don't, well, it's only going to escalate from here. And for the UK bros, I don't know what to tell you guys. The backlash started fast over there. As soon as the Online Safety Act kicked in, petitions started flying fast. They got signatures really quick, but the government's response, they essentially just brushed it off completely. And now with VPN use spiking to try to get around the law, well, a lot of people are talking about how the UK might just crack down on VPNs next, just lock everything down.
That'll be wild. Can you imagine if they lock down VPNs? That would be crazy.
What sucks is we're likely to see the effects of it over here because the law is so vague and far-reaching that even Microsoft is playing along now. Xbox is already rolling out a new age verification tool to restrict access for basic social features, all to stay ahead of the compliance laws that they have.
Microsoft is rolling out Xbox age verification in the UK. It's optional right now, but in early 2026, UK players will have to verify age for access to Xbox social features. Xbox is also exploring bringing age checks to other countries. Wow.
To restrict access for basic social features, all to stay ahead of the compliance laws that they have. This isn't just government overreach, it's corporate fear meeting ideology dressed up as safety. And the only move left is just to keep pushing, keep the pressure on, and most of all, guys, just don't shut up. Because once this becomes normal, there's no undoing it. If you guys have watched me for any length of time, then
I think there is undoing it. There's always a way back. As long as we're alive, there's a way back. The problem is, the longer it goes on, the harder it's going to be to get back to, like, normal. But there's always a way back.
you guys would know that I am an idealist to a fault. And I do genuinely believe that both governments and basically people all over the world severely underestimate gamers and this hobby.
Yeah, they do.
Because we are talking about generations of people that grew up on cooperative play. You got people that are out there that are getting world first raid kills with 500 ping and haven't slept in 3.
I'm not one of those cooperative players. I'm not gonna lie. I'm definitely single player. Not gonna lie.
3 days. You don't know what dedication looks like.
But yes, most gamers, we are a weird bunch of people. And yes, very dedicated if we put our minds to it. Like I've just kind of shown. Like I'm willing to go buy a new phone and get a new number, and I will try to call Visa and MasterCard. And if they don't charge me, bro, if they do not charge me and it is reverse charged, it's going to be a problem.
Our ability to gain traction and organize from the comfort of our homes is unmatched. These guys are waging war on our turf. We have home field advantage.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
Believe me, we're going to use it. Beyond that, given the spread, the age spread of this hobby, these politicians and these corporations are going to have to deal with us a lot longer than they will a group of collective Karens.
I would disagree with that. I would say that they will have to deal with the Karens for a very long time. The only difference is it's different for us because we don't really care what the Karens are doing. You know, like the whole story, the entire history of gamers versus Karens, it's never been us at any point taking ourselves and inserting ourselves into anything that has to do with the Karens. At no point has that ever happened. It's always them having nothing to do with their lives and deciding to come and bother us. It's never us going to them. And the Karens, I'm talking about the extreme left and the extreme right. These extreme groups, they're the ones who cannot leave us alone. In the 90s, in the 80s, and the 2000s, the early 2000s, it was the extreme right. After that, the extreme left came. Now, the extreme right's coming back again. It's a cyclical thing. It's like fashion. It's a cyclical thing, but that's what always happens. And we're just here chilling and we're just like, would you let me? Would you? And they're shouting, right? They keep shouting, ah! Both sides are just shouting, and we're just like, would you? Please, would you? Would you just let me play the game? Would you just let me? Would you? Okay, fine. Let's fight. And then when we're done with them, we're the devil. But in every single interaction, it's always us just chilling, doing our thing. And then these extreme groups coming for us, and we always try to run away from them and be like, just leave us alone. And they never want to leave us alone. Then they poke and they poke and they poke. And then people like Legendary Drops are like, all right, let's fight. I didn't mean to make that rhyme. Get it on a cave. Sure, Vince. These Karens have been around for like 50 years yelling about the same stuff. Exactly, Fuzzy. Exactly. And all the time, it's just us chilling. And before video games, it was comic books. Remember when comic books were the evil of the day? Remember? Music, like Legendary Dross mentioned here, music were the evil of the day. Bro, just let people live their life, man. Let people enjoy their life. What's your problem? Why don't you find something you like? Why don't you stay over there? Huh? Why don't you do the... Oh, you have no joy in your life. So we can't have any joy in ours. All right. Let's fight.
It is wild how fast this has progressed, both the implementation of and also the backlash. I've never seen anything like this before. And nobody has the right to tell us how to spend our money other than our government. That's the one thing that I'm going to say.
Yes. And the reason why it's okay for the government to regulate these things is because, yes, there is a line for everything. Again, I keep saying it. I keep repeating myself. The extremism is not a good thing. Whether it's extreme left, extreme right, what you want to do is be right there in the middle. Balance. Balance is the key to everything in life. Right? The issue is the extremities. I forgot the point I was making. Let me rewind this.
Flash. I've never seen anything like this before. And nobody has the right to tell us how to spend our money other than our government.
Oh yeah, government. Yes. Government can influence. The good thing about government is that government is not Karens, it's not corporations, it's not vibes and feelings and morals. For the government to step in and say this specific game is unallowable, you know what happens? It's a whole process. There's hearings, there's investigations, there's cases in some instances, there's court cases. It's a whole ass process. And way before you get to the conclusion where the judge hits the gavel and says, yo, this game is unacceptable, a whole lot of investigation takes place. And the few times these Karens have tried to take it to the government, actually not the few times, every single time, even in the 80s, every single time they've tried to take this to the government, it's fallen apart. Because the government will scrutinize. You will have lawyers on both sides. And they will take their emotions and their feelings and their morals and their Bible thumping out of the room. And they will start talking about facts on the ground. And as soon as you start looking at facts on the ground, there's no argument. There's nothing. It's rubbish. It's not even a mirage. It's a mirage of a mirage. So yes, government government can look into this, no problem. You know what government's gonna find? The same thing they found 30 years ago. It's just pixels, bro. Sit down. Please. Sit down.
That's the one thing that I'm going to say. And all of this is just optics over virtue. All of this is just so vain, especially how it was started. And it's just protecting people that don't want to raise their kids. That's all I see.
True.
I think I'd seen Asmongold say, talking about like making the world a padded room for everybody else when it just doesn't make any sense to do so, or something like that. That's what it feels like in this case. Honestly, he's probably right.
Yep.
You know, when I was younger, my stepbrother, apparently he wasn't allowed to have a social media account. I didn't know anything about it. So when he asked me to let him make one on my computer, I said, yeah, sure, go ahead, man.
Okay.
Well, his parents ended up finding out about it. Come to find out, his dad worked for the government, and that was the reason why he was not allowed to have one. I didn't know that.
Okay.
But the second that they found out, they took all the computers out of their house, and they gave that kid a flip phone.
What?
One of those, like,
Why does this guy's parents know that we don't? What do they know? What?
cricket phones or whatever. I forgot what the name of them are, where you can only like call your parents and that's about it. And that dude had that basically until he was like 18.
Damn.
Agree with the tactics or disagree with them. This is a responsibility of parents to be able to.
Yes, facts. Facts. If we take our emotions out of whatever this story that he just told us, the parents are the ones who are responsible for what their kids do and do not expose themselves to. That is all. That is all. Because a 15-year-old kid doesn't have a job, cannot support himself to the point where he can afford to be exposed to whatever it is that the parents don't want the kid to be exposed to. That's why they're called dependents, because they depend on the parent.
To take care of, not for the rest of the world to capitulate to the fact that you don't want to raise your kids. I'll keep an eye on this. I'm glad that I held off for a few days because I saw like where things were going, and I was like, well, I don't really want to jump in too quick. I kind of want to take my time and see how things evolve, get some more information, gather my thoughts on this kind of stuff. But man, I'm glad that I made the video now. Otherwise, it was just going to get away from me. Thank you guys for watching this video, by the way.
All right. That's Legendary Drops. It's a 24-minute video. It took us 3 hours to get through. I'm sorry, guys. I did promise this was going to be a short video. I wanted to make it short, but jeez, that's 3 hours, bro. Damn. Anyways, Vince says that idiot would dox the Spy Fam. Listen, it is what it is. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for supporting TSWS. Really appreciate that. If you're not subscribed, then go ahead and smash the subscribe button. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the lowdown with Ham. Fuzzies, are you going to play Grounded? No, I never played Grounded 1. I will never play Grounded. Well, never is a big word. But I have no interest in playing Grounded. Never liked the aesthetic of the first one. Don't like the aesthetic of the second one. And it's not even just the aesthetic. It's one of those online multiplayer games and building mechanics and grinding and all that other stuff. It's just not me. It's just not me. I know what I like. I know what I don't like. Fuzzy says you really should play Grounded. It's one of the best games of the gen. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I can accept that something a genre I'm not into. I can accept that, that game, it's not my type of genre, but it's one of the GOATs. I'm not one of these people that does like dishonest analysis. No, I can look at an RTS game and be like, RTS is not my thing. I just bounce off of them. Or I can look at Ori. You guys know I don't like side scrollers. But you know what? I can't deny Ori is one of the best side scrollers of all time. But it's not my thing. You know? It is what it is. Vince, appreciate you. D Pro, see you tomorrow. Make sure to ring that bell, D Pro. Make sure to ring it. Tomorrow, me and Ham are gonna be going ham on video game news. I'm sure we're gonna be talking about the whole PlayStation going, well, not going third party, but going even more third party than they've gone in the recent past. So that's gonna be fun. Ground is way more polished and accessible than its competitor. You know what, Fuzzy? I'll try it. You know what? You keep insisting. And you're part of the members. So you know what? I'll give it 1 hour. I'll install it and I will play it for 1 hour. If I'm not feeling it, I'm out. Deal? Deal. All right. Y'all have a good one. Thank you so much. I really, really, really appreciate your continued support and just interest to show up on a random pop-up stream that I really felt like unloading on you guys or with you guys. Pause. Y'all have a good one. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.